his family farm. It's a beautiful place. They've got, how many acres y'all got here? About 1,500. They got about 1,500 acres here. And the water, it's right on the river, and the water's been rising. And some of these woods to our right here, they're underwater. So these turkeys, they've been pushed kind of out. And there was, I don't know, 6 or 7 of them roosted within 150 yards of us right here, right up on this ridge. And had one hammering behind us with some hens, and then a bunch got out in front. And we were just sitting here, hadn't seen a turkey yet. And it's only 6:35. And Kerry looks up on the other fence line right here and sees one trying to slip in silent. And he come in, never made a peep, never strutted, nothing. And he was going to end up walking straight to us. And he come right down the field edge and was going to hop in the tree line with us. And before he got in there, I had to get a shot at him. It was through some stuff, but he barely flopped. So we're on the board in Kentucky at 6:35 a.m. We're basically surrounded by birds, so we're going to hang out and see if we can't get Kerry one. We're on the board in Kentucky. Let's see. Oh yeah, nice little 2-year-old. He, like I said, we had 6 or 7 birds all around us, and a lot of them were kind of up on this ridge behind me. And we had one who had some hens with him. He had to be 75 yards from us right here on this little ridge. And we'd sat here for, they'd flown down probably 10, 15 minutes prior. And Kerry, he just looks up, and over in this field, we just see a head kind of just coming down through there. He wasn't strutting, didn't gobble, didn't do none of that. And he crossed about right here, and it looked like he was going to go into this field on the other side. There's just like a little strip of trees right here in another field. He looked like he was going to go over there and meet up with that other Tom, those hens. But he kind of got behind this honeysuckle bush, and then I guess he walked straight toward us. And I told Kerry, I said, he's coming right down the tree line. And I was afraid he was about to cross right here. He started going left and kind of had to shoot through some stuff, but he was only about 12 yards, so. He's a pretty sucker, though. Oh, yeah. Big old probably 11-inch beard on him, and he's just your average 2-year-old, He's pretty. We appreciate him. I guess we're gonna hang out for a little bit, and then let's see if we can kind of sneak around this ridge, and maybe those turkeys right here kind of walk that way, and see if we can get on one for Kerry here. So stay tuned. We're on the board. Oh yeah. Shoot, yeah. He does. He has a big old beard on him. He does. Sneaky rascal. It's crazy if there's a bird that looks like that, Yeah. Gets me every time. We're sitting here back at the cabin, and me and Kerry, we had just went out and looked around to see if we could see those other birds that we'd heard this morning, and sure enough, we saw those 3 together that he's been seeing quite a bit on his camera, and he kind of had a run-in with them there on opening day a few days ago, and then saw one out by itself just right off the road. And so I think we'll probably head back out this afternoon and see if we can't get on one for Kerry. But Jake and Miles and EJ, they're sharing camp here with us. They went on the other side of the farm, and they didn't hear anything this morning, didn't hear any gobbles. And then we were on our way back from looking around, and sure enough, Miles sent everybody a group text, and it was a little video, and apparently Jake got him one too, so they should be back any minute now. We're going to check his bird out and kind of hear what the story was. Well, we got it done, didn't we?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it was a pretty good morning here in Kentucky. We're up here at our buddy Kerry's cabin, and Jake, he had went with Miles and EJ, and then me and Kerry, we went over to this new piece of property they just got back in January, and shoot, we had them all around us. We'd gotten a text, Jake and them, they hadn't heard anything, while we're sitting there listening to shoot 6 or 7 toms just hammer all around us. And we had this one big bird. He had I think just a couple of hens with him, not many, kind of like back behind us. And then there was this 3-pack where Kerry kind of had a run-in with them the other day, and then there was a few more kind of deeper back in there. But there was a single that was kind of like right on the edge of our field, because it was just a little thin strip field, and he had gobbled not as much as the others, and which kind of makes sense because we're sitting there, and we all, I mean, based on recent intel, Kerry thought they was all going to come from the right. Turns out we basically walked right under them to get into this place, and so we're sitting there, and sure enough, Kerry sees a head coming through the goldenrod there in that other field, and it finally cut through the tree line enough to where I could see his beard. And so I kind of turned and got ready, and he never made a peep, he never strutted, he never did anything. And I don't know if those other birds probably had him scared to death. He kind of seemed like he was wanting to get in there with our hen and
slip in the back door.
Slip in the back door, yeah. But he came in, and Trent's tracking him and on camera there, and he went straight left. Never even hardly looked at our decoys, I didn't think. And so I'd kind of turned all the way to the left as far as I could, and was kind of like looking out the left side of my eye, seeing if he'd come out in this field behind us, and then just caught some movement, and he was coming right to us. And he ended up getting about 12 yards, and then was going to cut back in the tree line, and I had to shoot him in. It was kind of through some thick stuff, had to shoot him in, and he never even flopped.
Hard to beat one at 12 yards.
Yeah, pattern's a little tight, so I'm glad he stopped just long enough to where I could squeeze one off.
But it sounds like y'all had a good hunt. Ours wasn't quite that exciting. We started off in the gar hole this morning.
Yeah.
And I got here super late, or really early, I guess. Left my house in Nashville last night super late. Didn't get here till about 3:30 this morning. So I think I bought my license at like 2 a.m. and got here, got maybe an hour of sleep.
Yeah, on the couch.
Yeah, on the couch. We started off, Miles, EJ, and me started off on the other side of the farm and didn't hear a bird. And made a long walk. I think EJ mapped it. Was like, there and back would have been 2.5 miles this morning.
That's a little further than we walked.
Yeah. We finally got on what sounded like 2 birds. And, I didn't have a camera guy. I was kind of trying to self-film this morning. Was doing a good job every time we sat down and kept moving on the birds, and got to the last point where we got to the edge of this field, and we had to crawl around a little bit and try to get on the other side of them and stuff, and just couldn't get it filmed. But we just kept moving on these birds. They sound like they were henned up, and from what we saw, it was two Longbeards and 2 Jakes, and I guess they didn't have any hens with them. But the waters, sounds like from what Kerry said, the water's changed everything these last few days around here on this farm, and the field where they were at sounded like they were just sitting there all morning gobbling, was kind of on top of one of those ridges.
Yeah.
And so just a beautiful spot, one of those spots like when you get up there and you kill that bird and you look around, you're like, I know why he was
makes
here.
Sense,
yeah, makes sense. Wish we could have been here at daylight, because it would have been, could have been potential to be one of those crazy hunts.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was good. I'm bummed I didn't film it, but happy to get a bird. I mean, leaving the house late last night and getting here and sleeping an hour and getting out this morning and putting in 2.5 miles and finally got it done. Not going home empty-handed.
Yep.
I got to turn and burn here pretty quick and head back home this evening. So try to get back after him in Tennessee, but super happy to get it done.
Shoot you?
And lucky to get it done in one day here in Kentucky. Actually, my first Kentucky bird ever.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Looky there. Check that one off the list.
Yeah, mark that one off the list. So
yeah,
it's pretty fun. This, I mean, it reminds me a lot of Tennessee. You know? I mean, so
yeah, it's a little. There's certain spots like where we were. For the most part, it's all flat, and then there was like one spine that kind of runs the whole property. And like you said, the water has come up so much. I think they had 4 inches of rain in 2 days last week.
Wow.
And so it's come up a bunch. And all these birds basically were on this ridge roosted, you know. And it's like, it seemed like they're getting down these fields and just like basically right on the water line. They're just walking the water line and probably picking bugs and everything else.
Well, that's what it seemed like our birds were doing too. I mean, like I said, up on that high spot, it was beautiful up there, and kind of the highest little ridge around from what I could see, and pretty woods leading up to it, and just a nice little rolling hill on top. It was an awesome spot. So,
Shoot, well, good deal.
Yep.
So Jake's heading home, and then I'm gonna stay for another day or two and see if we can't get another one. Then
got one tag left, huh?
Yeah, got one tag left. So see if we can make it happen. Stay tuned. All right, we're heading back in. Shot my bird this morning. We're gonna see if we can get on one for Kerry. So it's kind of cleared up. It was kind of cloudy and spitting rain this morning. Now it's cleared up, but it's got us a good breeze. So we had driven around the other side of this property and saw 3 or 4 toms kind of out by themselves. So I don't know what they'll do in this wind, but we're gonna try and make some moves here and hit some calls and see what we can make happen. Stay tuned. Run into a couple of turkeys here. Looks like a tom and a bearded hen. We've kind of pushed them along here, but they're not too spooked. I mean, they were still feeding and kind of went up into the woods. Not far from where we want to set up at. It's kind of just real windy. It's cleared off. It's warm. So we're going to kind of go back to the same area that we were at this morning. Try to catch them coming back through. So we've got about 200 yards to get to where we want to go, so bear with us. Well, I think we're going to call it quits for today. I had shot my bird early this morning, and we've been running around trying to get on a bird for Kerry, and have seen some. But I mean, the wind's blowing. I don't know if you can hear it. It's blowing about 40 miles an hour. And so I think we're gonna get out of here, go back to the cabin, kind of relax for the rest of the day, and then try and go roost one for in the morning. We've got another couple spots that we can hit here that hadn't been touched yet. So we'll go see what's going on tonight. And we'll see y'all in the morning. see him. Is he on the ground? Get your camera on him. How far? Coming this way. Still coming. He's going left. Fuck. The top of that hill, and there was a hen still in the tree right here. Yeah, he just sitting there waiting on her. She flew down right to him, and then he kind of just walked. He's down in that field where we were yesterday, I'm sure. We're making a move. Yeah, Tom flew down. I don't know. It's real windy still. And he just kind of stood there. Definitely saw the decoys. Then he kind of got in the tree line. There was a couple of hens roosted. I mean, not far from us at all. And I finally laid eyes on him in the woods on top of this little hill. And they just moved off the top of this hill. There's a spot we're wanting to get to, but I don't know if we'll be able to do it without spooking these birds, because I don't think we're going to be able to get on him with 3 or 4 hens with him. There's only so many places they can go. All this stuff is kind of flooded. I see him. We're making a move here. We got pinned down by some hens. We're trying to, there's like this little road. It's kind of like a little shortcut through these woods because a lot of these woods have water in them. And so we're trying to get this little road that we saw yesterday. And there was gobbler tracks all in it, so the wind is still howling. Peek around this corner. We had some hens kind of pin us down there for a second. They got to like 10 yards. A bunch of blue-winged teal just got off this pond right here. There's so much water these times they don't really have any place to go in the woods. There's this one little ridge kind of like over my shoulder here. We're going to try to get ourselves to this road over here. It's kind of like a little shortcut through these woods. And there were gobbler tracks all in it. And we'd seen them on the other side of this road, a couple hundred yards away from it, at like 8:30, 9 o'clock yesterday. So they've got to be making their way through there at some point. So the wind's still howling from yesterday. So we're just going to go set up for a couple hours and see what happens. We don't really know what else to do at this point. Just going to have to be patient. I think these turkeys are in this field right here. I don't know what we're going to be able to do with them. A couple hundred yards away from us. Look like a bunch of them with a strutter, maybe. You can tell.
I think one of them's a long-eared. I think.
Let's see if I can show these to you.
So, what do you think?
Making another move. We got eyes on these birds out in this field. We're gonna try to cut them off. This timber is pretty wet in here, but we're gonna do the best we can. See what we can make happen. Alright, we're set up. We had to wade through some deep water. Everybody's feet are wet. But I think we should be okay. I think we're in front of them. And we can't quite get to that road I was talking about, but we're close. And they should be able to see the decoys and everything from right here. So it's kind of just a waiting game now. They were headed this way, so there's two strutters in there. So hopefully me and EJ can both whack one. We'll see. Stay with us. Well, we thought we had these birds pegged, and then we're sitting there, and there's a machine that starts up. I don't know what was going on up there. Kind of across this field, in this tree line up here, a machine starts up and scares those birds, and they come running into the woods behind us. And some of the hens got close, 20, 25 yards, but the Longbeards, they stayed out at about 70 or 80, and just never would do anything. And so it's just one of them deals. We're gonna back out because they actually headed back towards where we started this morning. And so we're gonna back out and kind of regroup, get a little bit of work done, and then see what we can do here in a couple hours. Let them kind of settle down for a little bit. But we'll see y'all here in a little while. Set up here for our last morning in Kentucky. The birds are roosted roughly, 350, 400 yards up this hill. And this yellow field is where we've seen them 2 or 3 mornings in a row. So we think there's 2 or 3 of them. And so we've only got a couple hours. So we'll probably sit here for a little bit and then get aggressive if we need to. I think we finally got them mad enough. They're at least moving a little bit. They've been in the back corner of this field for 20 minutes or so. Me and the hens kind of start going back and forth here. Seems like they're slowly working their way this way. Well, we've had the fog kind of set in now. They were gobbling pretty good there for 30 or 40 minutes. Came to about 200 yards. And I don't know what happened. They just immediately shut up. And about, 10 minutes after that, this fog rolled in, so I don't know if they just sensed that it was coming and kind of just tucked in the trees and shut up, or what happened. I don't think we're going to be able to do much with them in this, so we may walk up here and see if we can lay eyes on them right around this corner. And then if not, we'll probably head back to Tennessee. Let's see what happens. we had come back to the cabin and pulled up, and Kerry was like, well, there was one goblin back here in this fog. And sure enough, we walked around the back cabin, called one time, and he gobbled a couple 100 yards, 300 yards away probably. And so we kind of took this little trail and got down here and called, and he gobbled. He cut me off. He's about 150 yards. And so we set up and waited and waited and waited. And I called again, and he gobbled again, and he was about 300, 450 yards away. So he was moving. I don't know. He must just have some hens, and they've got somewhere they want to be. But I think we're going to get our stuff packed up here and head back to Tennessee. We'll catch y'all on the next one.